professional anglers Keith Kavajecz and Dan Stier could be cranking for these South Dakota Glacial Lake walleyes.
I got one! Dan Stier!
Hey, that rod's buckled over.
But the advantages given by bottom bouncer fishing slow death.
Look what I caught him on!
Slow down.
And the killer crawler! Look at that thing in there!
Far exceed that of the longer lines that would be required to run crankbaits, helping make their approach along these weedy break lines more tactical.
Hey, wait a minute, that's the path I was gonna fish, man.
But even with a more attuned presentation,
You can have this path after I get done with it.
Okay, oh yeah.
there's even more yet that can be done to keep all 4 lines as productive as possible.
He works, right?
It's a good one. Good one.
Hit it hard?
He crushed it. These shallow fish are really aggressive and strong.
How shallow were we on that one?
Well, I slid up into about 9 foot.
He's probably ready to go back to them weeds, huh? Grow up just a little, young man. Grow up just a little and then come bite my line. I'll give you one little tip about fishing behind a really good fisherman like Dan. You know, as we come down these breaks and things, what I'm really paying attention to, trying to watch, is where is he putting his rods and what paths are his lures taking. Because he's a good enough fisherman, he's probably going to pick off those active fish as he comes through. So I'm like using a real long rod out here and this other rod and just watching where his baits are going, try and position my baits in a little bit different path, hopefully go by some different fish, and I'll try and keep up with him. I mean, he is Dan Stier, for Christ's sake. He's a really good fisherman.
Oh, there's one, Keith.
Got one?
Got one.
Netter?
Yeah, that's a nice one. I'm bringing her up there, young man.
Yeah, let me get extended here.
Yeah, there he
Yeah, there he is.
There's a dandy.
That's a nice chunker.
Here's a dandy fish here. I mean, this has lots of these 18, 19-inch fish. They're really fat and the old faithful, slow death.
Slipped in a little bead on me there, didn't you?
Well, you gotta have a little call, a little change, you know, and there's nice variations you can do with it. Gold, chartreuse, whatever, personal preferences, but there's just a big abundance of these 18, 19, 20, 21s, and we're gonna have a great time fishing today, I know that.
Real Deal. Real fishing information from real fishing experts. Presented by Amsoil.
Just got my line of ice rods. Many of you know that Keith Kavajecz and I designed a line of open water walleye rods for Bass Pro Shops. They've been around for like 15 years, one of the most successful lines of rods there is in the industry. Well, it was a natural to talk to Bass Pro again about ice rods, but even more important, we talked to the folks at Clam, the largest company in the ice world today. And we kind of all joined forces with the Next Bite crew, Clam, and Bass Pro to bring out this line of rods. They're called Walleye Weapons. They're really cool. They've got very lightweight but strong blanks, good backbone, nice soft tips. We've got 5 different sizes, starting with the little 24-incher. You'll use this rod when you're inside the fish shacks, the smaller shacks where you can't get the length of the rod. There's just not enough room in there, but yet you've got adequate backbone on this medium action rod to set the hook and play the fish. We've got a little bit more play in here. I like to use the 24, the 28, and the 32-incher. They're all medium action rods. I like to use these rods for walleyes inside the shack and a little bit smaller fish. Sometimes I'll even use them crappie fishing. They're nice and lightweight. You can do the overhand grip to them, and especially when you're fishing plastics, these are great rods for plastics. But yet, when we get out into the open, where you can use the longer rods, you can use the rods that are 36, 38, 40 inches long because you have the room, or if you're in a larger shack, or if you're fishing larger fish, ripping blade baits and things like that, we've got the backbone on these larger rods. Good stiff backbone, but yet nice soft tips for playing the fish. You've got good, real hard foam grips so that the sensitivity transfers throughout the whole length of the rod. You can see we've got the Next Bite logo on the rods. The reels also are called the Next Bite Walleye Weapon Reels. They're small, infinite anti-reverse, big anti-reverse button, so if you get a big fish on, you can back reel, real easy to get to with your gloves. For storing your rods, there's a click over handle locks so it folds over and you can get them into your storage boxes as you're transporting. So if you want a really good premium set of ice rods, Clam, The Next Bite, and Bass Pro have them.